Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm out here in the process of completing some errands and stuff. And I'm also doing another thing that some people might be interested in, which is rideshare. I drive part-time for Lyft. This morning I've picked up about 6 people so far. So that's pretty good for a Thursday. It's after the holidays, so I know things will probably be kind of slow for a little while anyway, but I made my rental the other day. It helped. I drove over New Year's Eve. That was pretty good. That was my first time I've driven for New Year's Eve. I dropped people off, but I didn't pick them up. So anyway, I got to be home like around 12 or so. But I wanted to talk to you about, this gig economy as far as for people that are interested in becoming a rideshare driver. I wanted to give you my take on Lyft. There's been like a lot of, I would say, feedback, the pros and the cons of driving for these different rideshare companies. Some people say Uber is better, other people say Lyft is better. There's been a lot of complaints and stuff too. My advice is to try it out and make your own judgment on what you think, whether you think it's something that you can do as a part-time gig or a full-time gig or what have you. I currently am doing the Lyft Express, which means that I rent a vehicle through Lyft. I pay a rental amount that comes out like every Monday, and then any monies that are made after that time is what I make. A lot of people say that it's too expensive and it's not worth, renting a vehicle through Lyft, but I'll tell you, if you have your own vehicle, you're putting a lot of mileage on it, and you're going to be going in for more oil changes as well. Not to disregard as far as like the insurance. I pay nothing when it comes to insurance when I'm renting the Lyft vehicle, because insurance is included, as well as all maintenance except for tires and the windshield. Like if something breaks your windshield or you get a crack in it or a rock hits it, etc. At the time that before using Lyft Express, I had my own vehicle. It was a 2016 Honda CRV, and it was good, but I found myself running up a lot of mileage on it. Also, because I was a rideshare driver, my insurance, which was high anyway, because Honda insurance is expensive, was really kicking me in the butt as far as between the car payment and the insurance. So, and I was getting oil changes at least, I would say a month and a half. That's how much driving I was doing. And I really wasn't happy about, the mileage being put on the car, especially since I had not really had it that long. Anyway, I've switched to renting a vehicle through Lyft. I like it. It works for me. Between the insurance and the benefits of, you have unlimited mileage, which is good, so in my free time, I'm able to drive wherever I want. I ran into the situation before where I didn't have, transportation, because my car had been involved in an accident over the summer, and it was totaled. Thank goodness nobody was in it. I was on my own time, etc. But it really was a setback for me, because I had to end up taking public transportation for a while. And since I am a part-time teacher as well, it got in the way of being able to get home at night. My classes were usually over like about 9:30. And so finding public transportation home depending on where the classes were located, became sort of a problem for me. So, and not to mention, I was carrying a lot of stuff with me, pots and pans and knives, etc. And you can only carry so much on a bus, you know. The bus line that I was using, the bus stopped like about as soon as the sun went down. So that was definitely something that I had to think about in regards to getting another mode of transportation. In regards to how much it costs to get set up for becoming a rideshare driver with Lyft, you need a deposit of $250 that is collected prior to you being able to drive. And depending on what day you actually drive or pick up the car, that following Monday, monies will be taken out for the rental. So the first week, usually, if you pick it up like towards the end of the week, is usually going to be cheaper versus you having it all week. So plan for that. My thing that I was really nervous about when I first started was the fact that I didn't know whether I could make the rental on it, because the rental, it also depends on where you live at. I'm in the DMV area, so my rental is like $219 plus tax. That comes out to $248 a week. Some of you might say, oh, that's expensive, but if you look at the average as far as just renting a regular car, you know, it comes out sometimes even a little bit cheaper. So I'm not really, complaining about the rate. It works for me. It's a good mode of transportation for me. I get to meet people. I get to promote my channel. My insurance is included. And what else can I say? I believe with Uber, you are putting down, I think it's about $400, close to $500 you're putting down. I don't know how it works, how they take it out of your account, but I would prefer to do Lyft because I've been driving with Lyft. I've never driven Uber, and I don't know when I'm going to start doing that, if ever. So this is a good idea for somebody that needs a side hustle, which you should have when you're a certain age at a job. I do have another video that I did about ageism, and in that video I was talking about how you should have another source of income. Well, this is just one of the sources that you can have. Driving, rideshare part-time, and it's great for if you're trying to, you have a bill that you have to pay, and it's time sensitive and you need to make money quickly, then this is probably one of the best ways to be able to make it without any stress added to it. It works for me. I'll do it as long as I need to be able to do it, and as long as I enjoy it, and that's about it. So there's my take on Lyft. Oh, I also wanted to tell you that there is a minimum of 20 rides that you have to do in addition to making the rental. If you don't have the rental made in a certain amount of time, which is before or by 5 a.m. on a Monday morning, they will use a backup credit card that they ask for in advance as well. So just in case you don't have the money, they have authorization from you to use your credit card to charge for the rental. However, you should be able to make it pretty quickly and not have to worry about it. I usually worked hard Monday, Tuesday, maybe sometimes Wednesday morning, but I usually will have my rental in prior to the middle of the week. Sometimes it gets a little bit slower. Well, it did this year, I think, because, well, I should say last month because of the holidays, but I was still able to make it prior to Thursday, so that was pretty good. So you have to do the 20 rides, and you can knock that out in a couple of days. That's nothing. Especially if it's like during rush hour, it's usually one right after the other, because people are always being added to your Lyft. So you'll be driving and then you'll get a ping for somebody else that has added themselves into the ride. So it just goes on like that for like a little while, especially during rush hour. The hours that I prefer to drive are early mornings, which is rush hour, from maybe like about 5:30, 6 o'clock to about noon. And then I might go back out around probably about 3 o'clock or so. And that's for the afternoon, evening rush hour. A lot of times, in between that time, I use to either do errands, catch up on other things, on my computer, getting the car washed, etc. That's another thing that I want to talk to you in regards to. It helps to have a clean car. It helps to have a nice smelling car, because people are going to rate you on how you drive, the condition of your car, how clean it is, how not clean it is, etc. Riders can be super critical sometimes, so you don't want to give them any excuse to rate you poorly. Safety when it comes to women, for me, what I say is anybody that you're picking up should have a photo through the app. If they don't, then you need to be cognizant of who you're picking up. There are a lot of times when people will order rides for other people. However, the person that they are ordering the ride from should know all of the information as to where they're going, the name of the place, the phone number, etc. If they can't confirm that, then they don't get in the car. And there's a lot of sketchy people out here too that will use somebody else's information just to get a ride. So I always double check who I'm picking up, where they're going, a phone number. Sometimes I even will ask them to call the person to verify. You just don't let anybody get into your car, especially when you're out here by yourself. It's just not cool at all. And it can lead to something tragic really fast. So you have to stay on your toes as far as who you pick up. And also, get to know the areas that you are driving. I purposely don't go into an area that I deem is unsafe. That is your choice. Even though, Lyft says that your acceptance rate will go down if you don't drive into a certain area or pick up certain people, I'm worried about safety. Not so much the money, but how safe I'm going to be. And that's what matters. You can only help me through a phone so much. You can't physically be here at the time the stuff is going down. So that's why I'm saying you have to be really cognizant of the people, the areas that you drive in, stuff like that. And that's the ins and outs of Lyft that I can tell you about. All I know, it's a great way to make some quick money. I don't know how it is as far as like full-time. I don't know any full-time drivers. Most of them are part-time and have other streams of income coming in. But like I said, this is a great way to make some quick money fast. So I'm going to go ahead and go get this car washed and head back out. Pick up a couple more people before noon, I hope. And I will talk to you later. Have a great day.